Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something literally every property owner is going to face at some point, and that is diagnosing your house. It's kind of like being a patient walking into a doctor's office. Your home's plumbing system actually gives you some very specific warning signs when it's feeling sick. But here's the really tricky part. Just like you wouldn't go to your general practitioner for, say, open heart surgery, you absolutely shouldn't call just any plumber for every type of pipe problem. So let's dive right into this and figure out exactly how to diagnose your plumbing issues so you know whether you need a drain specialist or a general plumber.
Okay, picture this. Your sink is backed up again. Who do you actually call? We've all been there, right? You're standing there just helplessly watching the gross water slowly pool up in the basin. You grab that old plunger from under the sink, desperately hoping for a quick miracle, and nothing. When that fails, the immediate reflex for most of us is to just pull out our phones and Google "plumber near me." Because, well, there's this massive misconception that all plumbers are exactly the same. Same tools, same training, the whole shebang. But treating all plumbing professionals like they're identical, man, that can lead to a lot of wasted time and, much more importantly, a lot of wasted money.
This source material actually makes a super critical point here. Quote, knowing which professional to call can save time, limit property damage, and reduce the chance of the problem coming back soon. End quote. I mean, think about it. This isn't just about fixing a minor annoyance so you can finally brush your teeth in peace. We are talking about protecting your home from serious, devastating structural water damage. It's about stopping that incredibly frustrating cycle where you're paying for a temporary fix over and over again. Understanding this distinction? It directly impacts your wallet, your property's longevity, and honestly, your peace of mind.
So to really grasp this, let's look at our two professionals side by side. The general plumber's territory. That's your localized, straightforward household clog. They are your first line of defense for normal, everyday wear and tear. On the flip side, the drain specialist's territory involves the deep, complex, and recurring drainage issues, the stuff hiding way down out of sight. Now, it's absolutely vital to understand that neither of these pros is better than the other. No way. They just serve entirely different functions in the plumbing ecosystem. Using them correctly depends completely on accurately reading the symptoms your house is throwing at you.
Section 1. The general practitioner. When standard tools are enough. Look, if the symptoms are highly localized, you are firmly in general plumber territory. We're talking about things like single sink clogs. Maybe it's literally just the guest bathroom that's draining slowly, but everything else in the house is working perfectly fine. Or maybe it's a super straightforward blockage right there in that accessible P-trap under the sink. Those traps are specifically designed to catch debris before it ever hits the main system. So hair, soap scum, all that fun stuff frequently builds up right there in that curved section of the pipe. If the problem is totally isolated to one specific spot and seems pretty simple, you can honestly breathe a sigh of relief. A general practitioner is usually going to be more than enough to get your water flowing again, quickly and affordably. For these kind of localized headaches, general plumbers rely on standard treatments. You'll usually see them using handheld equipment and basic augers, which, most of us just call snakes. These tools are absolutely fantastic for physically breaking apart hair, soap, or minor food blockages right at the source. They'll also usually do a quick visual check of the nearby connections under the sink or behind the toilet, just to make sure there isn't some silly installation error or a loose fitting. It's quick, it's efficient, and for a standard surface-level blockage, it's exactly what the doctor ordered. Section 2. When symptoms escalate, recognizing the warning signs of deeper disease. Okay, notice how distinctly different these warning signs are from a simple, slow drain. We are looking at severe, systemic symptoms now. Things like recurring clogs. You know the drill. You fix it, and literally a week later, it's backed up again. Or think about multiple drains backing up at once. If you flush the toilet and suddenly your shower drain starts filling up, yeah, that is a massive red flag. It usually means there's a choke point way further down the main line. And then there are the smells. If sewage odors are permeating the house, or if you're hearing those creepy, hollow gurgling sounds coming from the drains when you aren't even using them, listen, these symptoms are screaming that the problem is no longer localized. It involves the deep, hidden infrastructure of your home.
This next point from the source is fascinating. Beware the successful cleaning that immediately worsens. Imagine this. A contractor comes out, runs a basic snake, proudly proclaims the drain is cleared, and takes off. But within a day or two, the backup is actually worse than it was before. Well, our source notes that this specific scenario is an undeniable indicator of deep mainline issues, or maybe serious venting problems. What likely happened is a basic snake just poked a tiny little hole in a massive, dense blockage. So when water starts flowing through that newly made tiny hole, it causes the surrounding sludge and debris to just collapse back in on itself, completely sealing the pipe off entirely. Yikes. Section 3. The Specialist's Toolkit. Moving from trial and error to targeted diagnostics. So, unlike a general plumber who might try a few standard tricks just to see what sticks, the drain specialist embarks on a highly targeted diagnostic journey. Step 1. Advanced inspection. They use these high-tech, waterproof drain cameras and feed them directly into your subterranean pipes. They aren't guessing. Step 2. They use that live video feed to visually locate and positively identify the exact source and material of the blockage. And then step 3, because they can literally see the problem on a monitor right in front of them, they prescribe a highly targeted repair. All that trial and error, all the pure guesswork, completely eliminated from the equation. And what exactly are those cameras finding down there in the dark? Well, they frequently uncover some hidden nightmares that standard tools just can't even touch. We're talking about years of solidified grease blockages that have literally calcified into rock-hard obstructions. We're talking about thick, aggressive tree roots that have invaded your sewer lines, searching for water, and they're just crushing the pipe walls in the process. Or even completely collapsed sections of underground piping and heavy mineral-based scale. Listen, you simply cannot fix a collapsed pipe or a sprawling tree root invasion with a basic handheld auger. It's not going to happen. Finding these structural villains completely changes the game, and it often requires advanced solutions like hydrojetting, trenchless pipelining, or sometimes even full excavation. Section 4. High-impact scenarios, when specialized experience is non-negotiable. So here is exactly when you need to escalate immediately, no questions asked. First, if your toilets or your basement floor drains are repeatedly failing to clear. Second, if you have any reason at all to suspect actual physical damage to an underground drain line, maybe from some recent nearby construction or some massive root growth you've noticed in your yard. And third, when multiple fixtures are acting up simultaneously. In these high-impact scenarios, specialists are uniquely equipped to investigate those structural problems. They address recurring buildup patterns, and they correctly diagnose hidden venting issues, like where blocked airflow completely prevents proper drainage. A generalist? They might miss that entirely. So let's bring this all together. What is our ultimate goal here? It's achieving a permanent outcome. And you get a permanent outcome by matching the specific cause of a blockage to the exact right professional skill set. Start by looking at the symptom. Is it localized to one single sink? Great, call a general plumber. But are there foul odors, widespread gurgling, or multiple drains backing up all at the same time? Then it's time for a drain specialist. By gauging exactly how widespread the problem is, you empower yourself to match the symptom to the right expert from day one. I want to leave you with this final thought. Next time your drain gurgles, who are you going to call? Are you going to just cross your fingers and hope for the best with a standard fix? Or will you actually listen to those deeper systemic symptoms your house is giving you and bring in targeted diagnostics? Knowing the difference is absolutely the ultimate key to protecting your property. Keep this diagnostic framework in mind the next time your home gets sick, and honestly, you're going to save yourself a massive amount of time, money, and headache. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer.